Hello, everyone, and welcome to the episode 87 of the Office Hours podcast. I'm happy to welcome back Mo. And without further ado, let's get cracking. Hey, Mo.
How you doing, Vasili?
Good, good, good. How are you?
Very good. What's new and exciting?
Well, for me, it's kind of same old. I mean, the construction at home still proceeding.
Yeah.
So, if any, thankfully the sound got filtered out by the plugin really well. I couldn't hear anything. Even the episode we did when I was recording with the AC running, like
Mm-hmm.
couldn't really hear anything, so that's awesome. But in case some hammering does go through, I apologize in advance. So that's that.
Do you use AI in any part of this? Like.
Well, the plugin, the noise removal one is allegedly like machine learning based.
Why do you say allegedly?
Well, it's not like AI, but I guess it is. I guess machine learning based. It does run some kind of model that is tailored specifically for like filtering out people's voice out of noisy environments. So
Yeah,
it's
but
kind of not. It's not really an AI, but it is kind of AI adjacent, I would say.
they're brothers. Because
Mm.
how?
Step brothers.
No, because I mean, don't you have to teach the machine for it to become intelligent?
But it's not intelligent. It's just doing some very highly specific task. It's not generally intelligent. It's like intelligent in that one application only. So it's a non-transferable skill.
Well, fair enough. Because it's just like to me, I feel like they're related. So like one has to happen
Mm-hmm.
for the other. Last week I asked you about a genie. Like what would you wish for if you I didn't forget this question. Are you ready or you want me to ask you later?
No, ask me later. Did you see the comic that I sent you about like wishing for infinite wishes?
I haven't seen it, but I mean, I'm gonna look at it after. But
I sent it to
the
you immediately, like pretty much the same day we recorded, like, and it's been a week, so
oh
you can never check your WhatsApp.
I never check my WhatsApp. But I mean you know this. But you know this.
But which platform do you check?
Messages.
Messages like
Yeah.
SMS.
Well, I was gonna say like, message SMS. Yeah, like SMS, like iMessage, like stuff like that. I
But
feel
like
like
they're
what's
they're on the
what's
same device though.
actually don't get notifications for it. And I intentionally don't have like WhatsApp for it. I mean, I hope nobody's coming for me here because I find WhatsApp noisy in a way.
Okay.
Before we had like statuses and, and all this like broadcast stuff, like WhatsApp used to be like a messaging app.
Hmm.
Now it's not just like a messaging app, it's like it's there's like all these groups making noise throughout the day and like on there is
But don't you just like
the
mute all of the groups that you're not interested in?
then you open the app and then you see it. And now you just wanted to reply one message. Now you're in a group joining a conversation that it's like social media, like in a group having a conversation. So like, yeah, mostly I just like text,
I
but
see. I
I
see.
should do better with it because like I have family there and everything. Like,
Because like for me, WhatsApp, there's only like a handful of people who are on WhatsApp. Everybody else is on Telegram, so I can
aha.
barely use WhatsApp. Uh, and I guess if I have to send you an SMS, fair enough. Are you able to receive like the new RCS thing or whatever, where you can
Yeah,
actually send like pictures and
yeah,
stuff?
yeah.
Okay, okay. Because it's like every time I send you something, like for most people, they have like the delivery notifications and like red
I
statuses, so I can see
no,
if people read a message or not. And every time I send something to you, it's like always stays gray. I'm like, is he even like looking at this?
no. I mean, I come there once in a while, but I don't. I also have the same thing with like other social media. Like right now, like if you message me on like, I mean, this is I hope people can understand this, like, because I feel like I don't want to sound like I don't check social media, like I'm antisocial or something like this. I'm not. It's just like on Instagram, I don't want to go there because you reply one
Mhm.
message, then you watch a video. And one time, I started to feel the same way. You know what? Let me just put this as my complaint of the week. Because one time, I remember that I started feeling tired of YouTube too. Because YouTube, I used to put it like production, like productivity app where like you go to like find a video about something that you want to learn about. So, or maybe you want to watch something about something useful. And
Mhm.
now you go on mobile. If you go on YouTube, let's say you want to quickly find like a video to solve a problem. If you go on your computer, you might be lucky not to be distracted. But YouTube is also like very algorithm intense. Like they feed you the first video that will distract you from why you are on YouTube first place. And but on mobile it's worse because the moment you open the
Oh, it
app,
starts autoplaying and stuff like
yeah,
that.
it starts autoplay. And then I'm here to learn to see something about why I'm here, you know.
Yeah, yeah. That's
And
why I
now
uninstalled the YouTube app from my phone.
yeah, I prefer to just let me go on my computer than my
Well,
phone.
the funny thing is like even like the YouTube probably constitutes most of my usage of my phone. I just don't use the app to do it. I use the browser for it
Yeah,
because then I have all the nice things in the browser like ad block and
yeah.
I put some barriers for shorts, but I do know how you feel like because YouTube had a version where they would not autoplay whatever is on screen, and then one day they updated and it started autoplaying, and you couldn't turn it off, and I was just so pissed with it that I like fuck it, just uninstall. Like I don't want to deal with this horseshit anymore.
Yeah, I saw some. I don't know if they have the option to like disable shots. I don't know. That would be
No, they
nice.
don't, because they want you to do those. Because like funny thing is like even on the computer right now, the ad blocker works for most ads on YouTube, like interstitial ads, like the pre-roll ads, for full-sized videos. But for shorts, they just have those sponsored shorts, and it can't tell them apart because it's just another video
Mm.
that happens to be sponsored. And right now, there's like 5 or 6 shorts that are ads. And I recognize them by the first couple of frames, and I just like skip them immediately.
Yeah, yeah. Like shots can be really intense. Like first of all, they don't make sense. You're like, let me just see the next one. Let me see the next one, and then before you know it, like I'm
2 hours,
fighting
yeah.
for my attention here. You know,
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly.
yeah. But anyway, hopefully, like I find a way to balance it too because
We
I
just
be
need
like,
we just need a way where I can reliably get instant messaging.
listen, guys, like I feel Vasili knows. Vasili, but you
It's like all
know.
those other people are not important, but me, I am very important. So you better answer to those right away.
Yeah, yeah. You know what? I'm gonna do better, and like hopefully, like I can, I
No, I
can
mean,
find a way.
I'm glad that you're trying to safeguard your attention span. Um, but if I drop you something I'm gonna reference, I kind of expect you to see it, and then you're like, oh, I haven't seen it. It's like, oh, goddamn, the
Okay, my
whole point
bad,
is off.
my bad. Okay, now you
Uh,
were talking about like the the genie thing,
yeah,
and then you sent me. See, you sent me the
yeah, it
something,
was
and
just a, it was just a joke.
what
It's
wasn't
kind
it?
of
What wasn't
it's
it?
like the guy who gets infinite wishes from the genie, and he realizes how futile that is, and he like starts killing people who wish for infinite wishes,
Do
so they
you?
don't get to have that as well. Anyway,
would,
yeah, no,
would
I haven't really had a chance to think about it, and I asked my wife about it. She's like, I have no idea. So it is. I probably won't even have an answer for you, to be honest.
my faith is very strong, like I'm gonna, if you don't
Because
have
like
the,
we talked about it. It's like that there will be consequences to your wishes, and since you can't really reliably predict all the negative consequences of your wish, it's really difficult to even make one. It's kind of funny because there's this like science fiction novel, and there is a character who basically achieved. He's like a magician, well, like a wizard, I guess. Magician kind of carries like uh, Las Vegas stage magician type connotations. So he's a wizard. He can do magic, like Harry Potter style, and he basically achieved absolute power. But the only limitation is that like anything he performs magically cannot harm any living being, and he's basically deadlocked and not able to do anything because any type of involvement he has magically will have some negative consequences upon something, and therefore he cannot do it. So even though in theory he's all powerful, in practice he can't do anything. So
You know what? There has to be something. But I let you think about it, Vasili. I let you think about it. Because, and you know the reason why I'm asking, I had a conversation earlier today. We were talking about like, if you decide to solve a problem, any problem,
right.
like take any situation and you solve the problem, there will always be like a negative side of that solution. For example, I think every software application was built to solve a problem. I mean, theoretically, if you're being positive, happy part, but they have in turn have like a negative sides too. For example,
Well, yeah.
I don't think OnlyFans was built to be like OnlyFans. I think someone had an idea.
Dude, I get shorts ads for like OnlyFans, whatever podcast where like all these hookers essentially like, hey, I'm so cutesy and fun. It's fucking OnlyFans on YouTube Shorts. Like, what? Like, that's insane.
Well, yeah.
Like, I mean, at least like, okay, like Playboy was fairly softcore, and like maybe something like Hustler was a little bit more hardcore, but they had the decency not to advertise themselves on platforms where like children are present. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Basically, you see, that's why last week when we talked about like, you know, the government having some kind of control over like the internet to protect the children, I was for it. But I've learned that also it's the government, and this is just the beginning. But I think we should anyway still have some kind of like control at some point for reasons like this. What do you think?
No, I mean, we should, but again, it's not their responsibility, right? It should be ultimately the parents. The problem is that there are a lot of people who are kind of unprepared to take care of themselves, let alone their children, and so there's going to be a lot of people whom it negatively affects because their parents are not capable of taking care of them correctly, which is unfortunate, but it's the kind of reasoning where it's essentially like, okay, we're not gonna throw out the baby with the bathwater, and we're not gonna throw away everyone's rights and privacy just because there's like a subset of population that can't do a good job of it. It's like there's this false dichotomy being created that's like either we do it all or there's gonna be children suffering, and you only have to pick between the two, which is normally in real world is never really the choice. It's like you have benefits, you have negative consequences, and broadly you make a choice. Like, do benefits outweigh consequences so massively that, like, you know, everything has some kind of collateral damage? Like, it's impossible to say like, oh, we're gonna have zero negative consequence for this, because like, okay, maybe let's say in the perfect world they did manage to implement it like on a government level, and then no children therefore are in any way harmed by the internet. Okay, there's only the positive consequences for the children, fair enough. There's like massive negative consequences for the rest of the society. So was that a good price? Was that a good price to pay to achieve that goal? Were there any other ways of achieving the same goal, like educating people about like safety on the internet,
That
you know?
hasn't worked though.
How how did they try?
Okay,
And like even
I
that thing, sorry, let me just finish my thought. But remember the "you wouldn't download a car" campaign?
no.
It was like this anti-piracy commercials from like 2000s,
Ah,
where like Napster was the rage, right? And people were
mhm.
like downloading MP3s. So they had this campaign like, "Oh, you wouldn't download a car." And people are like, "I would if I could, so fuck you," you know. And but basically the
Mhm.
whole there was they tried to educate people about like the dangers of piracy, because music labels pressured them, because music labels just like to pressure into, anyway. But the funny thing about it is that a lot of people back then in like the early 2000s weren't really internet savvy.
Mhm.
And when they saw that commercial, it wasn't like, "Oh yeah, internet piracy is bad, I shouldn't do that." They're like, "You can pirate music on the internet? Holy shit, let me try that." So like the end result was completely 180-degree opposite of what they were trying to achieve. And that whole thing that like the unforeseen consequences are way worse than the thing that they were planning to do, it's just so consistent that like I wouldn't trust them with anything, literally, because every time there's some unforeseen consequences, and it's just like makes things so much worse. So yeah,
I
don't
mean,
even don't even start there.
um, I I don't even. I feel like it's true that there might be unforeseen consequence, but I still feel like it doesn't mean that there is no positive in any of this. And
I'm not saying
maybe
there's no positive. I'm saying that I think the negatives would grandly outweigh the positive.
let's use real scenarios.
Okay.
Right. Real scenarios. Let's say um the government. For example, I think I also learned like it's not just in the UK that they're doing the kind of things anymore.
Oh, they're starting to do it a bunch of places.
Yeah, like I think Australia, if I'm not wrong, and like the US also, I think there were some bills or something like that. Hypothetically, I was going to give you a good example. In football, there is something that happens, like in football, where like if someone is responsible for their team losing or something, like they lost a match or something like this, people go on this person's like their socials and spam it with like a lot of racist comments or like threats, and we have a lot of trolls. But imagine like everyone, it things that you will not do physically to someone. You feel like because you can hide behind a keyboard to say these things to these people. I get it, like free speech, yeah, but say it with your chest. If you have like you believe in what you're saying, I don't think you should be afraid to say it because you have your ID card there. I get the data part because now this is the data issue. But say it with your chest. And also, if you have like a sense some of control, this is one phase, right? The second
Hmm.
phase is like if you have a form of control, like people who get like bullied online, we can reduce it. Like hopefully people start to feel like, yeah,
I think that's the first order consequence. Like I see the point that you're making. I agree with it. Is that, the internet made people very comfortable, like not getting smacked across their face for saying dumb shit to other people.
mhm,
Like that's true. Like before, pre-internet, you probably get smacked in the face. Wild Wild West times, if you say something untoward, you're
mhm.
probably gonna get shot. And I imagine that a lot of people were more polite as a consequence. I don't know. So the thing is, though, is kind of lost my train of thought here. The problem is not with the immediate outcomes of this. It's like, sure. Well, first of all, oh yeah, I remember what I was gonna say. Being a celebrity, like being in a public spotlight
Mhm.
and receiving positive or negative comments, that's the price of admission in a lot of ways. It comes with the territory. Like you can't be a celebrity that everyone looks up to and not have that. And people need to understand that, like, if you are entering this domain, this is the type of consequences that you have to be dealing with. And that's why, a lot of people, it's like, you most, like, Joe Rogan says, like, I never read comments on my podcast because it's just like no point. There's just going to be a bunch of negativity in there or whatever. So, and it's kind of a double bind, when you're brand new, you want to kind of respond to all of the comments that you get, and like you heart them and you respond to every single one of them because you're trying to like build your audience. But once you hit a certain threshold, there's going to be a ton of trolls, ton of people wasting time, ton of people just going to dump their negativity on other people online, and you're just like, okay, well, I'm not reading those anymore. GG, good job, guys. You ruined it for everyone. I'm not saying that it's right, but I'm saying that that's what the case is. It's like, if you're a celebrity, people are going to talk shit to you on the internet. And if you cannot handle that, well, tough luck, in a sense. You can't, South Park did this great episode where all these celebrity, like Eric Hart, I don't know how much you know of South Park, but basically Butters is like this naive kid that's like kind of just naive. He doesn't know much about the world, so he doesn't understand when he's being taken advantage of and whatever. And then there's Cartman, who's like this prick, who's like, he's like the sum total of all the crappy traits in a person, and he's basically irredeemable. And he says that like he's getting mean comments on his Facebook page, so the school makes Butters basically moderate his internet comments for him, and like Butters is like reading all the horrible shit people write to Eric and like screens it, and he's just like reads only the positive comments to him. And then a bunch of celebrities started signing up for the service, and poor Butters has to like screen people's comments, and he like gets PTSD as a result. And all the celebrities, they basically, because it filters all the negative comments, they only get positive comments. They're kind of being in like the psychophantic echo chamber that doesn't serve them either in the end, because
they need
like,
criticism.
Yeah, you're getting criticism, but there's valid criticism too. And if you just choose to ignore it entirely and only hear praise, that's a very sycophantic behavior. Like, it's not good for anyone involved. And for the moderators, they all get PTSD out of it. So, like, that's not good either.
I mean, they're humans too. So people want to hear nice things about themselves. See, I'm up for criticism. Like, criticism is good. But this is where I draw the line. In football, when I give the example, it's a team sport. And it's sport. Just because I'm the one doing it doesn't mean that you would do it better if you were in the position. You could, but how do you know? And the fact that you're not in the position already says a lot. So you going to the person's page to like drop like racist comment or like call them names or something, or threaten to their family members, all those shenanigans. I feel like when people start having real identity that is easy to trace, just the same way you will not do this on the street. You won't go on the street to just tell somebody to their face. Like, I mean, you could, but there is real consequence to it.
Well, okay, so in UK, even before this thing for age verification, they're like literally arresting people for comments on the internet.
Yeah, they started that.
No, they have been doing it for a while. Like, UK arrests more people for things they say on the internet than like Russia does. And Russia is considered this horrible authoritative regime where you say anything, you disappear. And UK arrests more, well, I mean, like, that's the perception, right? It's like this, KGB is out to get you, you don't say anything, whatever. But like in UK, they arrest more people for things they say online. And the thing is, if you start looking into the kind of things that people get arrested for, you look at it and you're like, what the fuck? Like, some person said, I don't think the country should have as many immigrants coming in. Arrested for spreading hate speech and, whatever. Arrested for like a trivial comment that most people would probably agree with because, maybe it's not a good thing to just have so many people coming into your country. Whether you agree or disagree with that, do you think that like merits them being arrested and their house searched and their electronics seized? In the meantime, crime in UK is off the charts, and most police are like browsing the internet, finding like grandmas to arrest for something mean they said on the internet. So it's like they're doing their job. The new laws make them arrest people for shit people say on the internet. Meanwhile, people are getting stabbed on the street, and they're like, you know what? That's like arresting people for saying mean things off the internet is much safer and much more enjoyable than like chasing criminals on a street who can stab you at any point. So yeah, those guys who are stabbing people, yeah, that's fine. They can just stick to their own thing. We're just gonna be arresting grandmas on the internet because from the point of the law, it's kind of equal. Like, these people are breaking the law, those people are breaking the law, and this is hate speech. And hate speech is we take that very serious. It's harming lives. We're just gonna arrest this grandma for disliking her neighbor's print on her window. It's hate speech because her neighbor is Pakistani, and that's clearly a racially motivated crime. Like, no, fuck that. That is insane. And this is the kind of outcome that is gonna come. Because it's all done in such a vague way. No one can clearly interpret what constitutes hate speech or not. If I say, hey, Cristiano Ronaldo, you sucked at today's game. I really disliked how you play. There's people out there who'd be like, oh my God, that's hate speech. Throw that guy in jail. And you can't really argue with it, right? So the consequences of this is going to be horrible. Horrible, I'm telling you. They're already horrible. Like, UK is thoroughly cooked. I have no faith in them whatsoever. They're cooked completely and just done with, you know? A global superpower reduced to arresting people for things they say on the internet.
That's hate speech, Vasili. No?
That is hate. Yeah, if I go to London, I could probably get arrested at the airport for saying that. So I don't plan to transit through the kingdom. And weirdly, you know, we're part of the Commonwealth, and Canada likes to repeat all the dumb things all the other ultra progressives are doing. So I don't know, it's probably coming here, and eventually will be here, and in this case we are going to be cooked too. So so I'm telling you, like, the motive, the impulse to do this, and the motivations, it's like, yeah, we want to protect children. Okay, fine, you want to protect children. Everybody else is going to suffer as a result. And then more extreme political leadership comes and they start arresting you for even more benign things, and it just spins out of control. Like, I know people don't like the advocacy for the slippery slope argument, but like, you don't have to look far. Like, you just look what happened in Canada during COVID, in UK, in Australia during COVID, people getting arrested for, you know, expressing their discontent. Like, not good at all. Yet, you know, Russia is this horrible bogeyman where the KGB is always watching. People kind of miss forest for the trees in this one. I'm not saying that they're good, but I'm saying that, you know, you don't have to look too far. You don't have to look to other countries to realize that when it comes to free speech and privacy, most of the Western world has been thoroughly cooked, except, I guess, United States in some aspects of their life, but even that is kind of, you know, shaky.
What about the data part of it? Because this is where I'm seeing like a lot of issues. For example, I mean, right now, we hear a lot about people being hacked on their social accounts, like your Facebook. But imagine that there is a security or data leak somewhere.
Right.
See how many, say for example, people have their like government IDs, like their stuff on the app. And where would all this go? That means like companies, social media companies, literally dictate your life. Do we have to be on social media? I guess, I don't know how this would look.
So, yeah, fair enough. I guess there's a couple of things that I have thoughts about. Well, first of all, I'm not necessarily on social media in what people say when they say social media. Like, I mean, I guess YouTube is kind of a form of social media because, you know, there's comments and interactions and whatnot. But it's not the same like Instagram or Facebook or whatever. So I'm not on any of those.
Telegram?
Telegram is a messaging application. It's not necessarily social media. Like, sure, they added like stories and whatnot.
WhatsApp is social media.
WhatsApp is similar to Telegram, I would say, because like I think Telegram does better job of it because they have channels,
Like WhatsApp.
which are not so channels is like one way. It's like read only. You subscribe to a channel and you read what the author of the channel posts. So our podcast has a channel that posts. Does WhatsApp have channels?
Yeah, I saw it.
I think they do, but I think they make you like log in into Facebook to use those, so I never bothered with that stuff.
No,
I
saw it.
I saw it too. Like if you open it, they have something like on a homepage where you can have communities or whatever, or updates and channels. Yeah, they have channels. And like you can't necessarily, yeah, like you have to agree to some terms of service. So I never bothered with that.
Yeah.
But basically, Telegram doesn't do algorithmic stuff. It's like you just get most recent chronological messages from channels you subscribe to, and that's it. So you choose what channels you like. You're not being pushed because you go on Facebook, you go on Instagram, you get pushed these random ass people in your feed with random ass shit that you never really subscribe to, and they just like. I remember when Facebook was just like, oh, you're friends with this guy, he posted an update, and as soon as he posted it, you saw it. And then if other friend posted another update, you saw it right after that guy. And then once they got algorithmic, it turned to shit. I mean, it was kind of shit to begin with, because I remember the freaking Farmville and pokes and super pokes, and that shit was obnoxious back then. So anyway. But like, I'm not on those platforms, and I can't say that it negatively impacts my life. So you can not be on social media and just be absolutely fine with it.
True, but I think some people have this has not become a means of living for certain people, and it's a real source for certain people. I think there are some people who have based their life around this. Like some people will end their living on TikTok, on I don't know, on Twitter maybe. I mean,
terminally online people, as they call them these days.
Yeah, but some people actually rely on the feedback on the contents that. So I don't know if every one of us can do without it. Like, can just leave it.
Oh, I'm pretty sure we can. We have managed for like 300,000 years somehow without social media, and then in last 10 years everybody can't live without it. Like, come on.
No, I think so because I know some people whose job are actually like content creators. This is actually their job. They create content for certain.
But okay, like they create content, but like, well, I mean, in any niche, there's going to be people occupying that niche to provide the service that people are looking for. But like, if tomorrow everybody stops watching YouTube, are there still going to be content creators if there's no one watching it? And, you know, they'll have to do something else, right?
Is your solution for us to cancel social media?
I don't think that the solution is to cancel social media. I don't think the solution for this exists, honestly. Like, for instance, if you think about it, okay, like there's search engines, right? And Google, when it came out, was really good. It was like ahead above anything else on the market at the time. It did what was on the tin as advertised. It searched for things. It was very simple, and it gave you what you were looking for. Before like advertisements, before sponsored links, it was just giving you the results, right? Now it's just most search engines is a complete shit show. It's been algorithmically, it kind of collapsed into this algorithmic hell where there's like forced opposing forces. People are trying to game the algorithm and people trying to reinforce the algorithm, and SEO and all that kind of stuff. And then there's paid search engines. Like you can buy a Kagi subscription or whatever for like $20 a month. And I haven't tried it, but allegedly it gives you like a very good search experience similar to what Google was before. Maybe not as good, who knows? But I bet that not very many people actually pay for it. I'm pretty sure those that do enjoy it a lot, but like I haven't figured out a way to convince myself to pay for a search engine yet, right? And in the same sense, like there was this attempt at decentralized social media, and I mean, mostly it contains the marginal population. Like it's not mainstream. And the thing with all of these platforms is that, like, why would I sign up to a platform if it's just me and this other guy? And I have an option between signing up on a platform where there's me and this other guy and me and the rest of the planet. Like, which one would I choose? Even though the one with the rest of the planet has like all of these downsides and drawbacks, in terms of reachability, they have the rest of the planet versus this one other guy. And it could be like the best usability, best UX, best UI, whatever, but it's just fewer people are on it. And the people that are on it are more marginal than mainstream. And most people, I think, just don't find that, like, you know, you'll be entering a very small echo chamber with very particular people in it. So unless you're one of those people, and even then, if you're one of those people, you're just going to be reinforcing that echo chamber with same opinions. So like, what's even the point? You know?
Well,
like, yeah, if you look at Blue Sky is not doing too well. And it was supposed to be the alternative to horrible Twitter/X. And I don't know. Twitter seems to be still doing fine with all of the downsides of Twitter, but with all of the audience of Twitter. And Blue Sky being technologically basically the same thing, more or less. Just a bunch of weirdos out there. Like, no, seriously, it's like, I'm pretty sure that like 80-90% of Blue Sky is just like ultra radical leftists hang out on that platform. Like, you open any Mastodon or any Fediverse instance, it's just gonna be like weird people. It's gonna be like furries, it's gonna be like BDSM communities, it's gonna be like all sorts of marginal shit. Like, I kid you not. Like, if you go to one of the, like, because it's federated, like, people run their own servers, but there are websites that like aggregate a lot of these servers. If you browse through the top lists of them, you're gonna find them to be extremely like non-regular. It's just gonna be a bunch of weirdos on it. And I'm not saying that it's a bad thing, but I guess for a regular off the street average person, if they were to be dropped into that environment, to be like, what the hell is this? This is way too weird for me. Like, I'm out of here. So,
but these are also like the same kind of people that you interact with in other social media platforms. Because these people also have other social media platforms. So do you
it's
think
it's just a concentration. Like, yeah, all of the same people, they probably grit their teeth and swear under their breath and keep using Twitter and Facebook. But percentage-wise, the concentration of weirdos on Facebook compared to like average people is going to be completely different compared to if you go on Fediverse or Blue Sky or whatever. There's just going to be higher concentration of weirdos on those platforms. And again, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. Like, it's just the way it is. So average person I would posit to say that they would not be as comfortable in those communities. It's like, you know, if you're a regular person and you dropped into some really tiny community that's like geeking out about something, I don't know, you like some extreme Pokemon card collectors and all they talk about is Pokemon. It's like, you know, my wife, she plays Mafia and they have their own little group and all they do in there is talk about Mafia. And it's just like, I don't really, I mean, I know of the game, I know the rules, I know how to play, I know how to like I know enough by now to kind of understand what's going on. But if you grab a random person off the street and plonk them in the middle of conversation when these guys are talking about the last few games they had, that person will just be like, huh? What the hell's going on here? Like, I don't want to be around here. Nothing makes sense to me here. So I'm out. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Yeah. You know, the reason why I asked you about this is because let's say we agree that Okay, so we want to protect the children from like harmful content. We also think that we protect people from like hateful speeches, like real ones, not like
What is it? What is hateful speech? What is hate speech, first of all? Who defines that?
good question. So we'll put this on the side. I don't have the answer, but let's just put this on the side. Like these are like constraints because we don't have the answer to this. The problem we're trying to solve here is first the children, and also we're trying to protect the society in general. Like the things that you think you can do in person. I mean, the things you think you can do because nobody's going to be able to find you. If now we have your information, you would not do this. Like it's not like we're taking the speech away from you. We are saying say it with your like a popular saying, say it with your chest. Like, you know.
But like okay, like if you're not physically assaulting anyone, should you be arrested for saying some stuff to somebody? Like, where's the line? Like, there's specific cases in law where it's like, if I say, oh, I'm gonna murder you, yeah, that is like call to violence. You should certainly be arrested for that. But if I just say, oh, I don't know, you're fat, dumb, and ugly, okay, should I be arrested for that? To some, that would be hate speech.
Yeah, that would be it. You see, we as a society, I'm not arguing for or against this idea. Just to be clear, um, I'm learning about it. After our conversation last week, I started looking into it, and I had like a long conversation about it as well. My friend from the UK, and so I have different views of it. There is the positive side, and then there is the negative side. But if we want to solve the problem that we would probably have on the positive side of it without having the negative side of it, I would like to understand like what would be your solution. Let's say you are tasked with a challenge to solve this problem for every one of us. How would you have want to go about it? You want to protect children, people, and also like not take speech from them.
Well, I think that you can't do that. Like if you value free speech, you cannot do what you're outlining to do. I think it's impossible. Like either you curtail everyone's speech, and even okay, like let's say even we say okay, we have some limits on speech right now. Like you cannot say certain things. You cannot advocate for physical harm. You cannot advocate for violence.
Mm-hmm.
But that's basically, in my opinion, that's basically about it. Like I can't tell somebody to go beat somebody up, and I can't advocate violence in any form, right? Like what else is there?
But this is happening. You cannot do it. Say the reason you
No.
cannot do.
But I'm saying so like I'm saying besides those things, if everything else, like if so, we have those limits on speech right now. Like you can't advocate violence. Fair enough. If we start, even if we say, okay, here's a list of proscribed things that you cannot say online,
Mm-hmm.
immediately, trolls being trolls, they're gonna start skirting it around, trying to figure out the limit. How close can I get to the limit of thing without actually saying the thing? Okay, what happens now? Now there's like, okay, here's an amended list of all the things you cannot say. Process repeats, amended list grows, more and more things you're not allowed to say. It's like, you know, if you look at like US legal, like US laws, like if you stack all of those books, you can probably like fill this entire room with all the books of how the laws in the US work. And it just keeps growing. There's more and more laws. You know, you ever watch those videos on YouTube? It's like, oh, this quirky law from 17 whatever is still on a books, and technically you can get arrested for it. So it just ever grows. It never shrinks. So as soon as you introduce a bureaucracy to allow people say and not say different things on the internet, it's only ever gonna grow. And so my answer to that is free speech gives you more by the way of positive outcomes compared to the negative ones. So I would just say, like, we have to keep the free speech free. Let people say shitty things online. What to do about anonymous people? That's a weird one. Because the other thing too is, there are certainly cases where people kind of get deranged. They like find your email online and start spamming you from different addresses because access is easy. I can create like thousands of new accounts and so it's effectively turns into a problem of dealing with spam. And I don't know how well that problem is solved about dealing with spam. But on the other hand, social media, for now at least, you have to proactively go out and read stuff. So ultimately, if you don't want to be harassed on social media, you are free not to go on social media, and then you're not going to be harassed. Like, I'm not harassed on social media because I'm not on social media. So even if there's some crazy guy who like found my old Facebook page and like writes mean comments underneath my picture every day, like, have at it. I don't care. I never read those.
I should
like, if somebody's like stalking you and like calling your phone and breathing into the headset, that's different. That's basically criminal, because that goes over a certain threshold. Okay. But if somebody says something mean to you online, like, as if everyone's an angel and just says nice things to other people in person, like, that's not the case either. People say horrible things to each other face to face. Sometimes they get punched in the face and deal with the consequences of that. So like, I guess the only thing that's truly kind of missing here is the consequences, which is certainly true. And certainly more and more people do not appreciate the consequences of their actions. And a popular rage baiting content on the internet is like people who finally experience consequences of their actions when they do dumb shit and get arrested, and they're like so surprised. It brings a tear to my eye whenever I see those, because it's like, you fucker, you finally got what you deserve.
So it means like you agree that some people should be arrested for some of the things they say online.
No, but they actually do illegal shit, but they just were getting away with so much in their life that they think they can do whatever they want without consequence. So they like punch somebody and then they get arrested because that's assault. You cannot just punch people randomly.
Yeah, I agree with you, but I'm just for clarification. There are certain things that you think is crossing the line online.
Well, like, if somebody calls me on my personal phone line and like stalks me or harasses me that way, I think that does cross the line. Because now the thing is, like, when a call comes into my phone, it's being imposed on me. I can't really do much about it. It's an imposition on me. But if I go on my Facebook page and read all the comments, no one imposed that on me. I did it out of my own volition, so I get to deal with the consequences of that action.
So
you see the difference?
Yeah, but this is where it gets blurry for me, because my Facebook is like my phone number in this context, right? It's my Facebook. So if you're saying it without like...
But you can block people on Facebook.
If you're saying it in someone else's DM, you could. But if it's just one... So, in the example I gave it earlier about the football guy, right? Like, sometimes it's not just you they talk about. Now they're sending threats to your wife, to your children.
Okay, sending threats is illegal. Like, that is illegal. I don't have anything to say about that. Like, don't send threats to people. That's illegal. You should get arrested for shit like that.
Okay, so you agree with this. Like, this part is the good part.
I agree with the part where people should get arrested for doing illegal things.
Yeah, so these are the things, because some people have no, like the user 100024QQY does not have a name, does not have nobody knows who this person is.
Well, they still can find them, you know.
I mean, IP addresses.
IP addresses, yes.
But
Like okay, you cannot sign up to an internet provider or a cell phone service without providing them your ID.
I
Right?
feel like right now you're looking at a cell phone. I mean, with a cell phone. I'm talking about like those random accounts on like
Right.
social media, right, that post most people who actually post main stores
Yeah.
don't do it with like a real account. Like,
So I think that the solution in this case is the kind of solution that we were arguing. It's like I see it on some channels. It's like, oh, you want to leave a comment? Sign up and pay me money. You got to pay me $5 a month, and then you have the ability to give me comments.
oh,
So if you start leaving me mean comments, I block your account. Now you have to pay me another $5, and eventually, I don't know how persistent you would have to be to spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars just to leave me mean comments. And at least now I'm getting compensated for those mean comments. So it's like, kind of evens it out. And then again, me personally, I don't have to read those. I can just ban a person, collect my $5 a month this month, and if they want to create a new account and give me another $5, fair enough. And as soon as they give me a $5, their credit card is on file. So now, in some ways, maybe I don't know that information, but it is now traceable where their identity can be traced. So if they are being very persistent, I can be like, okay, this person is actually harassing me. And if one day they say, oh, I want to murder your family, okay, well, now we can bring it to the police. They can investigate. They can subpoena Stripe, get the records, get the person's name, and go and arrest their ass. So the thing, it's kind of like, it's like crypto, crypto proof of work, right? You have to expend resources to participate in the network to prove that you're legit in a way.
yeah.
So same thing here. It's like proof of intent. Like, if you want to have a meaningful conversation, spare me a little. Like, if you're a normal person and you're there to converse and not just to shit everywhere, $5 a month or $1 a month, whatever the amount may be, is low enough for one person to enter. But for a spammer, if he needs to register 100 accounts, that's $100. Like, not everybody will be willing to do that, and it will filter out great many people, and the few weirdos that remain are going to be easier to deal with.
But I feel like you're looking at it. You might be looking at it from like the context of like YouTube.
It doesn't matter. Any social network can integrate that feature, and I think like Twitter, basically the verified checkmark that you pay $20 for. Like, if you get banned, well, now you have to again register another account and pay another $20. I mean, like, sure, if you don't want to be out $40 a month, you can wait until the end of your billing cycle and create a new account. But now the area of effect of your damage is greatly reduced, because now you have to wait a month before you can actually continue your trolling ways. And people can say, I only want to receive comments from verified accounts. Everybody else can just fuck right off. I guess in that case, you're not, like, the platform gets the money, you don't get the money. But I'm pretty sure there can be some mechanism where, like, you want to participate, pay. On the other hand, I kind of have a counter argument to that, because, there's many free-to-play games, and there's a lot of people who cheat on free-to-play games. And they, like, pay for cheats, and they buy cheats, and they go online, and they play games with cheats and ruin everybody's day.
Yeah, but this is game. Anyway,
right. But, like, I get tilted when somebody is just, like, shooting me half across the map because they have cheats on. Like, that ruins my experience, right? I don't want that. So they get banned, but because it's a free-to-play game, they just create a new Steam account, because it costs them nothing to participate. Right? So they create a new Steam account, they install the cheats, and they start playing again, and now they're back. Right? So because... Actually, that maybe even kind of proves my point, because if that game was not free-to-play, if that game was like $5, that would already filter out so many people, because now every time it's $5. But then again, even on paid games, like Escape from Tarkov cost like $120 for the reasonable edition, And people cheat, they get banned, and then they buy a new account. So there are people who are willing to pay for cheats and pay for a copy of the game and cheat and get banned again and repeat the whole cycle. So, but I guess what I'm saying is there's going to be a handful of people who do that, but majority, it will filter out a lot of bad actors. It might not filter out all bad actors, but it will filter out a lot of bad actors or make it prohibitively more expensive. And like if you're Ronaldo, make it $20 a month if you want to comment, because you're a person of high renown. Like if you're nobody, okay, it's 50 cents, but if you're somebody famous, make it 100. You know, like you can tweak. Like if you're Ronaldo and everybody's paying you $1 to tell you that you suck at football, make it 5. It will reduce the amount of people telling you suck at football for the privilege, or maybe not suck at football, but like if they're actually sending you something horrible. If there's still a lot of people say make it 10, like it'll filter out people who are willing to go through all the hoops to do that every time. So it's again kind of bringing it back to Bitcoin. Like Bitcoin automatically adjusts its difficulty for the proof of work computation. Same thing here too. You get a lot of shitty comments, increase the price. You get less shitty comments, decrease the price. That could work.
That could work actually, and you're right, because like they could subpoena some Stripe, but this works for like the comment. What about the contents?
How do you mean?
For example, we were talking earlier about how like some people post like explicit content, and explicit doesn't necessarily mean like, maybe it's not always sexual. It could also be like explicit contents like anything that doesn't read. I mean, who decide what is normal? But you get what I'm trying to say. Like,
no, I understand. I see what you mean. So I think that like the problem with this, one of the problems is that because the regulations are so vaguely enforced in that area. You know, if you look at Twitch started as a video game streaming platform where people play video games and other people watch video games. And then a bunch of e-girls showed up and started doing poolside streams where they just like have their tits out pretty much, and they just like do random shit, but because they have tits out, a lot of people watch them. Because, you know, dudes are simple. You see a nice pair, you're like, I'm gonna watch that. But at the same time, Twitch is like a platform where a lot of children hang out, and Twitch is not really doing anything. And the reason why they're not doing anything is Twitch collects their percentage on all the tips, on all the subscriptions and all that kind of stuff. So it's a revenue generating machine for them. Like if they take some popular female streamer, not like a VTuber, but like an actual human person, and they do very suggestive at least, or explicit at most, stuff on their stream, a lot of people tip, a lot of people buy subs, and Twitch generates a lot of money from that. So if they ban this person for however many days, that's like a revenue dip right away. And because it's so poorly enforced, they're not really incentivized to do anything about it. They create like some outrage and be like, oh, rubble, and then they ban a person for like 12 hours. And it's like, well, fuck, that doesn't mean anything, you know? It's creating a perverse incentive for the streamer to do more of that stuff, because they know they basically barely get a slap on the wrist, and otherwise it's business as usual. It's like the same thing that's happening in California with all those stores getting robbed. It's like, oh, you rob a store, if you get arrested, you get released the same day with nothing. And it's like, well, I might as well go rob another store because there's no consequences for my actions. Like, fuck it. Right? It's exactly the same model. They perverted the incentives, and now people are doing it because it's like, hey, if I can get away with it for free and make a bunch of money in the process, like, why wouldn't I?
Yeah.
So, again, either the platforms should just very particularly isolate it. Like, maybe Twitch can have that stuff in like an adults only section, and then you have to, you know, have some proof of age And I understand, like, all the porn sites, they say, "Are you 18? Please click here to enter." And you just like, "Of course I'm 18. Like, who's gonna
No,
check,
but
right?" And you go
no,
straight
no.
in.
Yeah, but now you check with like the actual ID card.
Right, but now you're giving somebody information. Like, the problem, okay, so porn
How
sites are
do?
not, they're
Mhm.
not illegal, right? But they are morally frowned upon. And now that you've expressly tied your identity to the fact that you are consuming these materials, like like you, you're basically giving somebody blackmail over you in a sense. You know?
Yeah, but no, not someone. You are consenting to watch because they already know this, you know, like if you watch it on a browser, like your browsing history kind of shows this, like maybe some of the ads
Well,
that you
yeah,
might
but I
get
mean,
kind
okay,
of
if you are especially paranoid, you can mitigate some points of that. You can claim plausible deniability. Like, now there's specific identity tied to it, and it's like, and again, it's not illegal, right?
yeah,
So it
so
it in theory it should be fine. I mean, disregarding like mental health and moral implications of the fact that you like regularly consume porn or whatever, besides the point. But now there is specific evidence that you, the person, is consuming this particular type of content. And not only that, before they can say, "Oh, the state of Alabama really likes MILFs on as an aggregate," or whatever, "the state of Virginia really likes lesbian porn as an aggregate." Now they can say, "Oh, you as a person has these very particular fetishes that you probably wouldn't want anyone to know about for most part. Not illegal, very damaging potentially if that gets released." And I don't know
mm,
if maybe it's good thing that it is damaging because, you know, degenerate behavior maybe should not be condoned. But I think as a society we're like way past shame for pretty much anything. So I don't even know. I don't even know.
honestly, I think I agree, but now I'm thinking like I remember like one time, I don't know if you know like this app, it's called, I thought for a minute if I should, yeah, it's Rave. And
Sorry, what was
it's
that?
the name of the app is Rave. I thought for a
Rave?
minute, yeah. Like if you want to like watch like Netflix or like
Mm-hmm.
watch a show with someone in a different location, like you can connect to the app and then you share the same media, basically share the same screen.
Hmm.
So you can watch videos together, like in a
Right, right.
room or something. And um, I remember when I tried this app, um, there are some rooms where you can actually see certain contents that might actually scar you for life. Like I never would have believed that these kind of things exist.
Oh yeah.
And
I totally believe you.
I feel like if we had some form of protection, and I'm speaking of myself as an adult,
Right, right, right.
like in a case of like younger people who might need more guidance. I don't know how damaging this can be. But
Yeah. I think we only covered like a tiny, tiny little aspect of it all because did we talk about it last time? Where the CEO of Roblox mentioned something that like he wants to make Roblox in part a dating site, and it's just like that's a game for children, you weirdo. Somebody check your hard drive. Like what the fuck? Like people like ideally what you want to have. Somebody mentioned it on some other podcast that I listened to is that kids should have online spaces of their own. Like they should have Club Penguin and RuneScape and whatnot, where they can interact in the social setting and have fun. It's just like those spaces should not allow adults in them because there's going to be weirdos and groomers and whatnot. So just keep it segregated.
That could be an idea. That could be an idea. But
because apparently like a lot of it happens on these platforms, like especially things like Roblox and whatnot.
What if we adjust the algorithm to be actually like age specific? Like when you sign up, I mean, you could lie on your sign up, but
well, it all boils down to, again. So I think what the thing that could work in theory is, when I was thinking about it, I was thinking about something like Tor, like Onion Router, where you have like ingress and then it hops through a bunch of spots and then it egresses. So anyone in the middle didn't necessarily know who it was or where they went to. Like the ingress point knows you and the egress point knows what you see. And everybody in the middle doesn't know any of those things. So you like create these degrees of separation. So it could potentially work where you have multiple independent verification providers, not like one, because monopoly is going to do horrible things to this whole endeavor. And you have to have like a multi-hop type thing where the site cannot tie you back to your identity and the person verifying your identity cannot tie you back to the type of information you're browsing, right? So there is more disconnect there. And nobody stores. You obtain this sort of NFT of the fact that your age was verified, and then somehow you can derive some hierarchical type structure where like there's one token that signifies that your identity has been verified, and then a site can request proof of that without tying you to your identity through a chain of intermediaries. And that way they're disconnected, so you can provide that information. And then because there's multiple providers, how when you receive money through Interac, it's like, oh, which bank would you like to? And there's like a big list of different things, and you say, oh, I'm with these guys, and then it allows you to receive money through your bank, right? So kind of in a way where it's not just like one system that controls the input and it controls the output and it aggregates all of the data going through it. Maybe in that fashion, there would be reduced impact.
I think this might actually be good, because then you're not giving your identity to like the companies itself. Like you're not you're giving your identity to someone else that hopefully would have better security and like use it differently. So they ask these people if you deserve to, I mean, if you're
allowed to,
to view this. This could be a very good, honestly, like I feel like maybe there could be other ways to handle this.
I think that the technological solution to this problem is not the hard part. Like technologically, I'm pretty sure it's solvable. But you know what? Like technologically provable voting is solvable, but nobody bothered implementing it because, like, why would they? And again, technologically, this whole age verification and identity verification thing is probably solvable. I just feel that they're not going to bother because the amount of control it gives is so massive that no one will just willingly let it slip through their fingers. Because authoritarian regimes be doing what authoritarian regimes go, and any chance at getting more control over people's lives, they will happily take. So it's not a technology problem. It's purely culture / policy problem. And that's the biggest thing that I have my doubts about this thing ever being done right way.
Oh, well, I guess all we can do right now is just keep our fingers crossed and let's see how it plays out.
Start buying carrier pigeons for alternative forms of communication, Mo, because soon it's all gonna go to shit.
I like ravens. Ravens, I think they're smarter, no?
Yeah, they're very smart. But I think like the carrier pigeons are specifically trained for the task. Or I don't know, get a Meshtastic node or something. But yeah, again, it's not a technology problem. Like, internet was supposed to be the solution to the blockages in information passing. Internet was supposed to solve that. It's like everybody can send things to everybody else. Again, very, very good impulse, but the consequences that we're dealing with today are certainly dire. However, I think on a whole, it was a massive net boost for everybody. So again, we're paying the price for it, and as far as the price remains reasonable, we'll continue to do it, right?
I don't know. What I'm learning, I don't know if the price is reasonable, but we'll see. We can only tell with time.
Would you just well, I guess personally, if you're thinking that the price is not reasonable, that would mean that you have to just get off the internet entirely. Yet you're paying the price and keep using it. So, you're saying one thing, but you're doing the other.
It's the truth. I mean, you're right. It's exactly what most of us do. Everybody knows, every minute you spend on social media, this is data that you are giving to someone else. Every post that you make is data that you are selling to someone else.
Every post you make.
Literally every login, every interaction you have.
Every snap you take, I'll be watching
Literally.
you.
We all know this, and we all still do it. Even your browser. Everything you do on your... And even now, with the old generative AI, we shouldn't even go there. That, yeah, that's a different kind of ops. But it is what it is.
It is what it is.
I don't know if the price will be fair, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see. But anyway, thank you, Vasili. We will continue this conversation. I believe I guess I'm learning a lot about these things and
yeah, it feels like we're just barely scratching the surface on it.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
We'll likely continue. So thank you, Mo. Thank you for bringing it up. It is a welcome departure from talking about AI all the time.
Well, yeah, there is a lot going on in that industry too. But yeah, this is getting more of my attention these days. We'll see.
All right. Thank you, Mo, and thank you everyone who's been watching. What do you think about all of these things? Are we heading for weird authoritarian regime where you say wrong thing on the internet and immediately get arrested? To me, it almost kind of feels like it. Maybe I'm wrong, and I'd like to be given an example how it's not the case. So if you have any, leave them in the comments down below, and we'll see you in the next one.
The comment is free, right?
The comment is free for now. So if you want to give me shit in the comments, it's still free. I can't guarantee you that I'll read them, but probably I will, because we're a small channel and we read all of them for now.
Yeah.
So yeah, you have a chance before we turn big and then we stop reading them. Now we actually do read them. So, use it. Use it or lose it.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Have a good day. Bye.